The arena lights burned like twin suns as the crowd roared, waiting for the next fighters to enter. Across the galaxy, warriors came here to test their strength. Many battles had been fought in this place, but today something strange was about to happen. Something no one expected. Far above the arena floor, in a dark observation room, alien commanders watched the incoming transport ship. They were expecting a dangerous new creature for the next fight. The message they received said a beast was aboard, something powerful enough to challenge even the strongest champions. But when the doors opened, they did not see a monster. They saw a small human child. He stepped out slowly, his curly hair messy, his clothes simple and worn. He looked more lost than scared. The guards stared at each other, confused. This was not the beast they ordered. This was just a boy. But then the floor shook. A deep, growling sound came from the shadows behind the child. It was rough, low, and full of wild strength. The guards raised their weapons, and the alien commander leaned forward in fear. When the creature stepped into the light, the entire room went silent. It was a honey badger, but nothing like the tiny, fierce animals known on Earth. This one was huge, almost as tall as a grown alien soldier. Its claws were thick like metal blades, and its eyes glowed with strange intelligence. Its fur was silver and dark, giving it a frightening, majestic look. It moved closer to the boy, standing by his side like a guardian. The guards stepped back. Even they could sense the danger. The alien commander hissed. "So this is the beast," he whispered. "But why is it with a human child?" The boy looked up at the giant creature and placed a hand on its leg. The honey badger rumbled softly, almost like a purr. Whatever bond they shared, it was real. They were not master and pet. They were partners. The arena master arrived, his long armored robe dragging behind him. He studied the boy and the beast carefully, but his expression showed irritation. "This is not what we requested," he said. "Where is the war creature we asked for? A child cannot fight." The guard captain spoke nervously. "We searched the ship. There is no other creature, only the child and this." The arena master looked at the honey badger again, and a slow smile formed on his face. "No matter. The crowd wants a show. A strange pairing like this may be even more valuable. Humans are unpredictable, and this beast looks deadly enough. Send them to the preparation chamber." The boy didn't resist when the guards guided him forward. He looked around quietly, his eyes wide, studying the alien place around him. The honey badger followed closely, taking heavy steps that echoed across the metallic floor. As they walked deeper into the arena halls, the staff whispered among themselves. Many of them had never seen a human child before. Humans were known in the galaxy as stubborn, brave, dangerous, and sometimes foolish. But a child? No one understood what he could possibly do in a fight. The preparation chamber was cold and brightly lit. The boy sat on a metal bench, while the giant honey badger sniffed every corner of the room. The guards watched nervously from outside the force field barrier. One of the guards whispered, "Look at the way it moves. It's like it's protecting him." Another replied, "Maybe the child controls it." The idea frightened them even more. Inside the chamber, the boy finally spoke, his voice small but steady. "Are we in trouble?" he asked the honey badger. The large creature made a soft grunt, then sat beside him. It nudged his shoulder gently, almost reassuring him. The boy sighed and rested his head on its thick fur. Even in this terrifying place, he felt safe near his companion. Far above, the arena master watched. "Strange," he muttered. "Why does the beast obey him? What is their connection?" An older alien scientist entered the observation room. He had been studying humans for decades. When he saw the child on the screen, his eyes widened. "This is unusual," he said. "Humans are known to bond with animals. But this is something more. The creature responds to him as if he is part of its pack." The arena master waved his hand. "It doesn't matter. Put them in the next round. Let's see what the human child can do." Meanwhile, below the arena floor, other fighters prepared for their battles. Massive alien warriors sharpened their weapons, and armored beasts growled inside their cages. All of them believed they would face strong opponents today. None of them imagined they would face a child and a honey badger. The arena announcer activated the loudspeakers. "Next match, a new challenger enters the pit." The crowd cheered wildly. The gates to the arena floor opened with a heavy rumble. Dust rose into the air, and bright lights swept across the battlefield. This place was unforgiving. Only the strongest survived. The boy stood at the entrance looking out at the massive arena. Even though he was small, his expression slowly changed. Fear turned into something else. Determination. The honey badger moved closer to him, and the boy put his hand on its fur. "It's okay," he whispered. "We'll be fine. We always survive." The arena gate behind them locked shut. Across the battlefield, their opponents marched forward. 3 alien beasts covered in armor, twice the size of the honey badger. Their roars shook the air. The crowd screamed in excitement. Everyone believed the child would die within seconds. Everyone believed the honey badger would fall soon after. But the boy stood firm, and the creature beside him lowered its body, ready to strike. Above them, the arena master leaned forward eagerly. "Let the fight begin." As the signal horn blasted, dust exploded around the boy and his companion. The alien beasts charged. The honey badger roared, a deep sound that shook the ground. No one in the arena knew it yet, but the unexpected war had already begun. The alien beasts rushed forward with thunderous speed, their heavy armor plates clashing like giant metal shields. Dust rose behind them as they charged across the arena floor, ready to crush anything in their path. The crowd shouted with excitement, expecting an easy victory for the larger creatures. They believed the child would fall instantly. They believed the honey badger would be overwhelmed. But the boy did not run. He stood calmly, his small hand still resting on the thick fur of his companion. The honey badger stepped in front of him, muscles tightening beneath its silver-dark coat. Its eyes glowed with a fierce intelligence that made even the alien beasts slow down for a moment. The boy whispered something the cameras could not catch. Whatever he said, the creature understood. The giant honey badger let out a short growl and lowered its body, ready to spring. The first alien beast reached them. It swung its armored head down, aiming to smash the honey badger into the ground. But the honey badger moved faster than anyone expected. With a powerful leap, it jumped sideways, avoiding the crushing blow. Its claws raked across the beast's armor, leaving deep scratches. The alien beast roared in pain and fury. The crowd gasped. This was not what they expected from a creature that looked like an oversized earth animal. The arena master leaned forward, watching closely. Even the commanders in the observation room stopped speaking. Something unusual was happening. The second beast lunged at the boy, believing the child to be the weak point. But the honey badger reacted instantly. It pushed the boy aside with surprising gentleness and then spun toward the attacker. Its jaws clamped down on the alien beast's leg. The sound of crushing metal echoed across the arena. The beast screamed and stumbled. The boy got back to his feet quickly, dust covering his clothes. He did not look frightened anymore. He watched the battle carefully, as if he understood every move the honey badger made. His eyes were focused, sharp, and far too calm for a child standing in the middle of a deadly fight. The third alien beast circled them, searching for an opening. This one was smarter. It studied the honey badger, waiting for a moment of weakness. It was huge, with spikes running down its back and horns curved like blades. When it finally charged, it aimed not at the honey badger, but at the boy again. The attack came fast, but the boy reacted faster. He rolled across the ground, barely escaping the beast's horns. The honey badger roared in rage, abandoning its hold on the wounded beast and racing to protect the child. It slammed into the third beast's side, sending shockwaves through the arena floor. The impact was so strong that the audience felt the vibrations through the seating platforms. The arena master whispered to himself, "How does the child know when to move? How does the beast know exactly where he is?" The scientist beside him folded his hands. "This is a rare bond. Very rare. I think the creature is reading the boy's heartbeat, his breathing, maybe even his emotions. They are connected in a way we do not fully understand." Down in the arena, the honey badger and the boy moved almost like a single unit. Every time the boy stepped back, the honey badger stepped forward. Every time the honey badger attacked, the boy shifted to a safer place. It was not chaos. It was coordination. Pure, natural teamwork. The crowd grew louder. Some aliens cheered. Some shouted in disbelief. Some were suddenly afraid. Humans were already known as strange and dangerous. But this child and his creature were something different. The wounded alien beast tried once more to stand. Its armored leg was cracked, its breathing heavy. It stepped forward, but the honey badger saw the movement instantly. It lunged again with incredible speed, slamming the beast to the ground. A final blow from its claws sent the armored creature collapsing. Two beasts were down. Only the smartest, largest one remained. It stared at the honey badger, then at the child, then at the crowd. Its instincts told it something was wrong. This fight was not simple. Its enemies were not weak. It let out a deep growl and charged again, this time with more caution. The honey badger stood firm. The beast swiped its massive claw. The honey badger dodged and countered. The beast used its horns. The honey badger jumped back and circled. The ground shook under their movements. Dust clouds swirled around them like smoke. The boy watched everything carefully. His hands clenched. His breathing quickened. The honey badger sensed it. Even during battle, it kept one eye on him. When the child's foot slipped on the dirt, the honey badger changed direction instantly, drawing the beast away. The arena master realized it. The beast protects him even in the middle of combat. This is not normal animal instinct. This is loyalty. The boy shouted suddenly. "Left!" The honey badger responded without hesitation. It darted left, just as the alien beast lunged, causing the beast to miss its target and crash into the arena wall. The impact shook the entire structure. Cracks formed in the stone. Even the announcer gasped. The honey badger seized the moment. With a roar that echoed through the arena, it launched itself onto the beast's back, claws sinking deep between the armor plates. The beast bucked, trying to throw it off, but the honey badger held on tightly. It struck again and again until the beast stumbled and collapsed onto the ground. Silence fell. The honey badger stepped back, breathing heavily. The boy walked toward it and placed his hand on its shoulder. The creature lowered its head, exhausted but victorious. The arena was filled with dust and the smell of metal. Then the cheering began. It rolled across the arena like a wave of thunder. Aliens from different worlds stood up, shouting, clapping, roaring. They had come to watch a simple fight. Instead, they witnessed something legendary. The gatekeepers opened the exit. The boy and the honey badger walked toward it slowly, side by side. Every alien watched them leave. None dared to get close. In the observation room, the arena master stared at the screen. "This is not a normal fighter," he said slowly. "This child, this beast, they are too valuable. We cannot let them leave so easily." The scientist nodded. "I fear that many others will want them as well." The arena master looked at the glowing battlefield one more time. His expression changed from curiosity to calculation. The boy and his honey badger had won the fight, but the real danger was only beginning. The arena corridors were strangely quiet as the boy and the honey badger walked through them. Only moments ago, the arena had been filled with roaring voices, shaking the walls with excitement. But now, The silence felt heavy, like the calm after a storm. The boy kept one hand pressed gently against the honey badger's fur, feeling the creature's slow, strong breaths. They had won the battle, but he could sense something was wrong. The air felt different. The guards watched them in a way they had not watched before. Their eyes were colder, sharper. 2 alien guards blocked the next doorway. They held long electric staffs and wore heavy armor. When the boy approached, they did not move aside. Instead, they looked at the honey badger nervously, as if expecting it to attack at any moment. The taller guard spoke first. "You are being moved," he said. "Arena Master's orders." The boy did not say anything. He just looked at the honey badger. The creature gave a soft rumble, understanding the tension. The guard stepped aside slowly, giving them a wide path, careful not to make sudden movements. They were escorted deeper into the arena compound, far away from the public areas. The corridors became darker, narrower, and colder. The lights flickered sometimes, casting strange shadows that danced across the walls. The boy felt the honey badger's fur rise slightly, a sign that the creature sensed danger. They were taken to a heavy metal door. The guard captain entered a code into the panel, and the door slid open with a loud hiss. Inside was a dim room filled with monitors, holographic screens, and strange alien equipment. The arena master stood at the center, observing a large display that showed a replay of their battle. He turned slowly when they entered. "You surprised everyone today," he said, studying the boy and the honey badger carefully. "A human child defeating 3 armed beasts. A creature loyal only to you. I have never seen anything like it." The boy stayed silent. The honey badger growled softly, warning the arena master to keep his distance. The arena master smiled slightly. "Do not worry. I am not here to harm you." He paced slowly around them. "I want to understand you. I want to know how a child commands such a powerful beast. And I want to know where you came from." The boy stared at the floor. He did not trust this alien. The honey badger moved closer to him, its claws clicking against the metal. The arena master stopped pacing. "You have 2 choices. You can continue fighting in the arena, winning more battles, earning respect and rewards. Or you can tell me the truth about your creature." The boy lifted his head. His voice was quiet, but steady. "He's my friend." The arena master raised a brow. "Friend, humans are strange, but friendship does not create such power. Tell me how you control it." The honey badger growled louder, warning him again. The arena master stepped back slightly. "Very well. If you won't speak, then the galaxy will speak for you." He pressed a button on his console. The monitors flickered and changed, showing images of alien warlords, syndicates, and military officers broadcasting messages. The first voice boomed from the speakers. "We have seen the human child. We want the beast. Deliver it to us." Another message appeared. "Sell the child. Sell the creature. Name your price." The boy's stomach tightened. He took a small step backward. The honey badger moved instantly between him and the screens like a shield. The arena master turned off the broadcasts. "You see, there are many powerful beings who want you both. They will pay greatly, and if I do not give them what they want, they will take it." The boy whispered, "We don't want to stay here." The arena master sighed. "You don't have a choice." Suddenly, an alarm began to ring through the room. The lights flashed red. A security officer rushed inside. "Sir, unauthorized ships approaching, multiple signatures. They want the child and the creature." The arena master's face changed immediately. "How did they get here so fast?" The officer shook his head. "They must have been watching the arena broadcast. They tracked us as soon as the fight ended." The arena master turned back to the boy, frustration in his voice. "This is your doing. You and your beast have attracted chaos." The honey badger snarled so loudly that the officer stepped back in fear. The arena master closed his eyes for a brief moment, then spoke quickly. "We cannot stay here. If those ships land, everything will be destroyed. We need to move you both to a secure location." The boy held tightly onto the honey badger's fur. His voice trembled. "We don't want to be locked away." The arena master looked at him sharply. "Locked away? If I do not protect you, they will take you by force." Another alarm echoed, louder this time. The officer checked his device. "Sir, one of the ships is forcing an entry channel. We must evacuate now." The arena master slammed his hand on a panel. A hidden door opened on the side of the room. "Follow me. If you want to live, come now." The boy hesitated. He did not trust the arena master, but he also knew staying here was dangerous. He looked at the honey badger. The creature nudged him gently toward the exit, its instincts guiding them forward. They ran through the hidden corridor. The walls shook as distant explosions echoed through the structure. Dust fell from the ceiling. The arena master moved quickly, surprisingly fast for his age. "This way," he said. "We're heading to the underground transit tunnels. They lead to the old supply docks. No one uses them anymore." As they moved deeper, the lights flickered and went out completely for a moment. In the darkness, the boy felt a strong paw wrap around his arm, guiding him. When the lights returned, the honey badger stood protectively beside him again. They reached a sealed hatch at the end of the tunnel. The arena master entered a code, but the hatch beeped in rejection. "Override locked," the officer said nervously. "Someone has taken control of the system." A loud crash echoed behind them. The boy turned and saw shadows moving in the tunnel's far end. Whoever had come for them was close. The honey badger lowered itself, ready to fight again. The arena master whispered, "They found us." The dim tunnel filled with a deep, echoing rumble as the shadows at the far end began to move closer. The boy stepped back, his heart pounding so hard he could feel it in his throat. Dust drifted from the ceiling each time the footsteps grew louder. The honey badger stood in front of him, lips curling back, claws scraping the floor. Its entire body became tense, powerful, ready for whatever was coming. The arena master tried the override again, but the hatch only flashed red. "It's no use," he said, frustration rising in his voice. "Someone locked us out. They knew we would come this way." The officer pulled out a small scanning device. "We need another route," he whispered, though his voice trembled. "They're too close." The boy clutched the honey badger's fur tightly. Even though fear filled him, he stayed close to his companion. He knew that the creature would protect him. The honey badger sniffed the air, its nostrils flaring. Then it growled deeply, signaling danger even before shapes became clear. The first figure finally stepped into view. It was tall and armored, wearing dark plates that covered every part of its body. Its helmet glowed with a single red line across the visor. Behind it, more figures appeared, silent and heavily armed. These were no simple hunters. They were elite soldiers from one of the most feared alien clans. The arena master whispered sharply, "The Krail Syndicate! They are assassins! If they caught our signal, we are out of time." The officer turned pale. "They don't negotiate. They take what they want." The soldiers approached slowly, their steps controlled and precise. They carried long energy blades that hummed with faint blue light. Their leader pointed at the boy, then tapped his helmet twice. The message was clear. Surrender the child and the beast. The arena master stepped forward. "You don't know what you're doing," he said loudly. "This child is under my protection." The soldiers did not care. Their leader raised one hand and made a sharp gesture. Two soldiers sprinted forward. The honey badger reacted instantly. It lunged at the first soldier with unbelievable force, slamming it into the wall. Sparks flew. The soldier hit the ground with a heavy crash and did not get back up. The second soldier swung an energy blade down toward the boy. The honey badger twisted with terrifying speed, intercepting the attack. The blade scraped across its thick fur, but the creature didn't slow. It grabbed the soldier by the arm and hurled him down the tunnel. The arena master and officer both stared in shock. "Impossible," the officer whispered. "No creature should be able to move like that." More soldiers rushed forward, but the honey badger was too fast. Its claws sliced through armor, sending sparks and shards flying. The tunnel echoed with sharp impacts and metallic shrieks. The boy pressed himself against the wall, watching the fight with wide eyes. The bond between him and the honey badger grew even stronger. Every time the boy flinched, the creature shifted to cover him. Every time a soldier moved close, the honey badger attacked first. But the soldiers were trained. More of them kept coming. One managed to strike the honey badger in the side with a charged spear. The creature growled in pain and stumbled. The boy cried out, stepping forward instinctively, but the honey badger pushed him back with its head, refusing to let him be hurt. The arena master shouted, "We must open the hatch! Keep trying!" The officer's fingers shook as he typed. "The system is refusing every code. Someone is blocking us from command." The arena master looked at the walls, searching for another way. "There is no exit here," he said. "This tunnel is old. It was never meant for emergency use." The boy looked around desperately. Then he saw something above them, an old ventilation shaft. Its metal grate was rusted and loose. "There!" he shouted, pointing upward. The arena master followed his gaze. "That leads to the maintenance ducts," he said. "Narrow, dangerous, unstable, but it might work." The officer looked uncertain. "Can the child fit?" The boy nodded quickly. "I can." The honey badger roared as another soldier tried to rush past it. The creature leaped and crushed the attacker against the wall. The tunnel trembled from the force. The arena master gave the officer a push. "Get him up there! Now!" The officer ran to the wall and jumped, reaching the grate. He kicked it hard until it broke free. Dust rained down. He turned to the boy. "Climb. Go fast." The boy grabbed the honey badger's fur. "Come with me." But the shaft was too small. The honey badger could not fit. It stared at the opening, then looked at the boy. Its glowing eyes softened. It nudged the child forward gently. The boy shook his head. "No, I'm not leaving you." The honey badger gave a firm grunt, pushing him again. It understood the danger better than he did. The soldiers were closing in. If they stayed together, they would both be caught. But if the boy escaped, the creature could still protect him from below. The arena master shouted, "The beast is telling you to go! Move!" Tears filled the boy's eyes. He didn't want to leave his friend. But the honey badger pushed him once more, harder this time, and growled softly. Not in anger, but in command. The boy climbed up the wall and grabbed the edges of the shaft. With the officer's help, he pulled himself inside. The narrow space was dark and cramped. He turned back, reaching out. "I'll come back for you," he whispered. The honey badger roared and charged at the soldiers again. Its attack shook the tunnel so violently that dust burst from the ceiling. The boy's heart twisted painfully as he watched his friend fight alone. The arena master shouted from below, "Go, child! Crawl through the duct! We will follow if we can!" The boy wiped his eyes and crawled deeper into the darkness. Below him, the tunnel exploded with noise. The honey badger tore through soldiers like a storm, each movement filled with fury. The soldiers fought desperately, shouting orders, firing weapons, swinging blades. Sparks and flashes lit the tunnel like lightning. The boy crawled faster, forced to ignore his trembling hands. The duct twisted sharply. The metal groaned under his weight. He could still hear the battle below, echoing through the walls. Then he felt something heavy slam into the shaft. The entire duct shook. Dust filled his throat. He coughed and crawled faster. Behind him, the honey badger's roar cut through the chaos, deep, furious, proud. But then the roar was drowned out by something else. A blast, a bright, shaking blast. Then everything went silent. The boy froze inside the narrow duct, his hands pressed against the cold metal. The silence after the blast felt heavier than the noise that came before it. His chest tightened as he tried to listen for any sound from below. At first, there was nothing, only the faint crackle of damaged wires. Then, slowly, the echoes of distant screams and metal grinding began to rise from deeper inside the tunnels. But he heard no roar, no growl, no familiar sound of the honey badger. He whispered softly, "Please be okay." His voice trembled inside the darkness. The duct shook again from a distant impact, making dust rain down on his shoulders. He forced himself forward, crawling on elbows and knees. The metal scraped against his clothes, and the air inside grew hotter and harder to breathe. Each movement felt slow and painful, but he couldn't stop. His friend needed him. Somewhere behind him, the honey badger was still fighting, or hurt, or worse. The thought made him move faster. A faint light broke through ahead. The boy crawled toward it until he reached a broken section where the duct had split open. He looked down through the gap. Below him was another tunnel, this one wider and lined with old pipes. It was quiet, with no soldiers in sight. He swallowed hard, then carefully lowered himself through the opening. He dropped to the floor with a small thud. The air here smelled of rust and old machinery. It was slightly warmer but still dark. The boy looked around, unsure which direction to go. Far behind him, muffled sounds of battle still echoed. He knew he couldn't go back that way, no matter how much he wanted to. Instead, he started moving forward, staying close to the wall. As he walked, he remembered the honey badger's last push, the way it forced him toward the duct, even though it meant facing danger alone. He wiped his eyes quickly and kept walking. He had to trust that his friend was still fighting. Eventually, he reached a wider chamber. Large pipes crisscrossed the ceiling, and old machines hummed with low energy. He heard footsteps. The boy ducked behind a thick metal crate and held his breath. Two alien technicians entered the chamber. They wore light armor and carried tools, not weapons. One checked the machines while the other examined a data pad. "Did you feel that explosion?" the first one asked. The second nodded. "Yes. The Krail soldiers must have found the beast. They're trying to force their way into the old tunnels." "And the child?" "No clue. Command thinks he used the maintenance ducts." The boy's stomach dropped. They were searching for him everywhere. "We should report this," the first technician said. "If the arena master survives, he will want the child alive. The Krail Syndicate wants them both." "Everyone wants them both," the second muttered. "I heard warlords are already placing bids." They moved deeper into the chamber. The boy stayed hidden until their footsteps faded. Then he slipped out from behind the crate and headed the opposite direction. He needed to find a way out before more soldiers came. He reached another long corridor, this one sloping downward. The air grew cooler as he descended. The floor was rough, and the walls were cracked with age. This part of the arena had been abandoned long ago, but it felt safer than the tunnels above. He continued walking until he reached a junction where two paths split. The left path was filled with thick pipes and low ceilings. The right path had old rail tracks running along the ground. He chose the tracks, hoping they led to the supply docks the arena master mentioned. As he walked, he thought about the honey badger again. Every memory of them together flashed through his mind, the way they survived together, hunted together, explored dangerous places together. He could not accept the idea of losing that bond. He whispered again, "I'm coming back for you. I promise." His voice echoed softly in the empty tunnel. After several minutes, he saw a faint glow ahead. He followed it until he reached a small maintenance room. Inside, an emergency lamp flickered on the wall. There was also a storage shelf, a few broken tools, and a cracked screen that still worked. The boy stepped closer to the screen. It displayed a live feed of the tunnels above. His heart jumped when he saw the honey badger. The creature stood in a damaged hallway, surrounded by debris. Its fur was burned in places, and one of its legs bled slightly. But it was alive. It breathed heavily, its chest rising and falling with effort. The remains of several Krail soldiers lay scattered nearby. The boy pressed his hand against the screen. "You're alive," he whispered, relief washing over him. Then he noticed movement. More soldiers entered the camera view. They were not regular fighters. These ones were larger, more heavily armored elite enforcers. The honey badger growled, lowering itself to attack again. The boy's heart squeezed painfully. The creature was hurt, outnumbered, and cornered. He looked around the room urgently, searching for anything he could use to help. But there were no weapons, no communication devices, nothing he could use to reach the battlefield. The realization hit him hard. He was too small, too unarmed, too far away. He felt helpless. But then the screen flickered again, switching to a different camera. This one showed the arena master and the officer hiding behind a collapsed wall. They were injured, but still moving. The arena master spoke to the camera as if giving orders to someone. "Find the boy," he said. "Protect him at all costs. The creature is strong, but he won't survive much longer alone." The boy took a step back from the screen. He suddenly understood something. He wasn't safe, not even here. If the arena master survived, he wanted him. If the Krail soldiers survived, they wanted him. If warlords were watching, they wanted him. And the honey badger, his protector, his friend, was fighting a battle he should not fight alone. The boy clenched his fists. He couldn't hide anymore. He had to get stronger. He had to find a way back. He had to save his companion. He looked at the door ahead, leading deeper into the tunnels. He didn't know where it led, but he knew he couldn't stay here. He took a deep breath, wiped the dust from his face, and stepped forward. The metal door creaked open. Cool air swept across his face. He walked into the darkness with one thought burning in his heart. He would find the honey badger, no matter what waited in the shadows, no matter how dangerous the path became. He was not going to leave his friend behind. The boy walked deeper into the dark tunnels, each step echoing softly behind him. The air was colder here, filled with the smell of dust and old machinery. He kept moving, guided by a quiet determination burning inside him. He didn't know exactly where the path would lead, but he knew he had to find the honey badger. Each memory of his friend pushed him forward, giving him courage even when fear tried to slow him down. Eventually, the tunnel opened into a large underground chamber. Old supply crates, broken lights, and rusted vehicles lay scattered around. Some machines were still faintly humming, glowing with tired energy. It felt like a forgotten world hidden beneath the arena. The boy paused to listen. Distant echoes drifted through the metal walls. He could not tell if they came from soldiers or collapsing tunnels, but he knew time was running out. He walked toward the far side of the chamber and found a large service elevator. Its gate was half open, its lights flickering weakly. He stepped inside and pressed the control panel. The elevator shuddered, groaned, and slowly began to rise. Dust swirled around him as the platform vibrated under his feet. He looked upward, hands tightening at his sides. Somewhere above, the honey badger was still fighting alone. The thought stung like a blade. The elevator reached a mid-level maintenance deck. The doors opened to reveal a wide hallway with scattered tools and cracked screens on the walls. Alarms flashed red lights, showing emergency warnings in alien symbols. The boy stepped out carefully. The floor was shaking with distant impacts. He followed the vibration, moving faster. Suddenly, he heard a roar. A familiar one, deep, powerful, and filled with pain and fury. His heart jumped. He ran toward the sound without thinking, ignoring every fear. The roar came again, louder, closer, a sound he knew better than anything. He reached a broken doorway and stopped. On the other side was a wide corridor filled with smoke and fallen debris. The honey badger stood in the center, surrounded by several armored soldiers. Its fur was burned and blood streaked its side, but it still fought. Each movement was slower than before, but its spirit remained fierce. The soldiers attacked from all directions, trying to overwhelm it. Sparks flew as weapons clashed with claws. The boy stepped forward. "Stop!" he shouted, his voice cracking from fear and anger. The soldiers turned toward him. For a second, everything froze. The honey badger looked back and saw him. Its eyes widened with relief, but also fear, as if telling him to run. Instead, the boy ran toward it. The soldiers aimed their weapons, but the honey badger roared so loudly that they flinched. It used the moment to attack again, smashing one soldier into the wall. The boy ducked behind a fallen pillar and grabbed a metal rod from the ground. It was heavy, but he held it tightly, refusing to let go. One of the soldiers rushed toward him. The boy swung the rod with all his strength. It hit the soldier's arm, knocking the weapon away. The impact stung his hands, but he didn't stop. He swung again, forcing the soldier back. The honey badger saw this and charged to shield him, crashing into the enemies. The arena master and the officer appeared in the hallway above, watching through a shattered window. The officer gasped. "The child came back." The arena master's voice was low. "He's stronger than he looks." Below them, the fight grew more intense. The honey badger continued to protect the boy, but the enemies kept coming. A captain stepped forward, raising a heavy energy cannon. The honey badger growled and prepared to attack, but it was weak. The boy saw the danger and grabbed the cannon barrel, pushing it upward. The blast shot into the ceiling, shaking the entire corridor. The captain shoved the boy to the ground. The honey badger roared and slammed into the captain, throwing him across the floor. The creature stumbled afterward, its vision blurring. Its legs shook. The boy crawled to its side and pressed his hands against its fur. "I'm here," he whispered. "I'm not leaving you again." The soldiers recovered and aimed their weapons. The boy covered the honey badger with his small body, refusing to move. The soldiers hesitated. None of them expected the child to shield the creature. The moment of confusion was enough. A loud whirring sound echoed from behind. A large maintenance loader, a heavy machine with metal arms, powered on automatically, triggered by the earlier blast. It rolled forward uncontrollably. The soldiers turned too late. The loader crashed into them, scattering them against the walls. The impact shook the corridor and knocked out the remaining soldiers. Silence returned, broken only by the crackling sparks from damaged wires. The boy slowly stood and looked around. The honey badger remained on the ground, breathing heavily but alive. He knelt beside it, gently stroking its neck. "We made it," he whispered. "We're together." The arena master and officer reached them. The master looked down at the boy and the creature. His voice softened slightly. "You both survived something that should have killed you." The boy glared at him. "We don't belong to you." The arena master nodded slowly. "I see that now. Keeping you here would only cause more bloodshed, and you would fight until the end." He sighed. "You deserve freedom." The boy didn't trust him at first, but the master stepped aside and pointed toward an emergency exit tunnel. "That path leads outside the arena grounds. Beyond it are the lower city levels. No one will search for you there immediately." The boy helped the honey badger onto its feet. The creature leaned heavily on him but managed to stand. Together they walked toward the tunnel. The officer opened the final door for them. Cool evening air flowed in, carrying the scent of rain and distant city lights. Before stepping outside, the boy turned back for one last look. The arena behind him was broken, damaged, and filled with memories he never wanted. But it was no longer a prison. He walked into the open world with the honey badger at his side. They didn't know where the path ahead would lead, but they were free, and they were together, and somewhere in the vast galaxy, news would spread of the child and the beast who survived the arena and changed everything.